Welcome to the Big Four Accounting Firms podcast, brought to you by thebig4accountingfirms.com. Today we are going to be discussing some Big Four interview tips. I wanted to provide some tips for everyone out there, whether you're interviewing in school for an internship or whether you are an experienced hire looking for a job at the Big Four accounting firms. First, let's go to the question that you are most certain to face and is the hardest to answer in an interview. One question that you should expect to answer is, tell me something about yourself. This one always catches me off guard when people ask this because it's like, how are you supposed to answer that? Should you mention that you like crocheting? Should you start your story from the first memory you ever remember as a child? Should you start from high school? Where do you start? It is such an open-ended question and conjures up a lot of thoughts. But I think you should answer based on which stage you are in your career or life. If you're in school, you should start your answer by talking about the school you are currently going to and why you chose that school and some interests that you have while you're in school. It would be especially great if you had interests that are centered towards accounting or being a better business professional. Some examples of this would be if you are a member of Beta Alpha Psi, or if you are part of a Toastmasters club. Maybe you like to volunteer at soup kitchens a lot. All of these are great examples of things you can mention. And FYI, if you aren't doing any of these things right now, you should go get involved if you want to set yourself apart from other candidates. Another unique interview tip that I can provide that you won't hear a lot of other places is don't expect your interviewer to think or look like you. Whenever I prep for an interview, I expect that I will automatically have rapport with my interviewer and then my interviewer will look like me. However, that is rarely the case, especially in big cities like New York. Additionally, your interviewer could be a different gender than you, so your small talk should not be about football if you are a man and you're speaking to a woman. Now, I know more women are watching football nowadays than ever, but I'm just trying to give a simple example here, so try not to get too offended. Just be mindful of your interviewer's background and don't assume they automatically think like you or have had the same life experiences as you. If you want to talk about football, ask them first, do you watch football? Something simple like that, but don't automatically assume they watched the last Jets or Giants game. You will need to build rapport with your interviewer, and you have to do this by making small talk and asking the person questions about themselves. And this leads me to my next tip. You need to have some small talk ready. Many Big Four interviewers aren't very good at making small talk. And if you also aren't good at small talk, then that will make two people that are bad at small talk, which equals complete and utter awkward silence. You need to have some questions ready to ask in case your interviewer doesn't talk much or in case there is awkward silence. Asking about weekend plans is a good question to break the silence. If a holiday just passed, you can ask them how their holiday was. Another good question is to ask the person how long they have been working at the Big Four firm you are interviewing with. And after they answer, you can ask them what made them choose to work there and what do they like about their job. These are all good questions to ask your interviewer, and they are also good questions to help break awkward silences. Another tip that I can offer that will help you get the job you want is invest in a good suit or a good dress. You don't need to buy a whole wardrobe of suits or dresses, just one really good one. Looking the part is a huge part of getting a good job. People just feel good hiring someone that looks well-groomed and professional. It makes it seem like you are trustworthy and consistent, both of which are very important in business. And if you want to go an extra step, I recommend buying a really nice folder to put your resume in and your business cards if you have business cards. If you are well-dressed, and you have an extremely nice folder with your resumes and business cards in it, you will blow people away in the optics department and be that much closer to your dream job. Well, those are just a few interview tips that we have. We will have more in future episodes, so make sure to subscribe to this podcast and visit big4accountingfirms.com. Also, make sure to share this podcast with a friend when you get a chance. Thanks for listening.